All right, hi chemistry students. I am Miss Sundberg. I am here today to talk to you about scientific notation. Some of you are probably really familiar with this. Some of you may still struggle with it, but it is something we use in chemistry. Once we get to the mole and stoichiometry and converting between number of molecules to grams, you are going to see scientific notation and Avogadro's number a lot. So we wanted to introduce it here and make sure that you knew what scientific notation was. So if you have me or Mr. Brewer in on-level chemistry, you will find this information. And I am going to be on page 15. Okay, so in your packet, find page 15. If you have Mr. Meyer, I'm sure he'll link this video to whichever assessment he is using for scientific notation. So a couple things. First, we're going to look here on page 15. How do you do scientific notation? How do you convert numbers to scientific notation? And then the information that goes along with them. So it's going to be pretty important that you know a couple terminology things. So if you go off to like the side right here, I'm going to zoom into the side area. We're going to take a couple notes in that section real quick. So some vocabulary words that you need to know. There is a format. So you have a number out in front, and then you have the times 10, and then you have to some number. So we need to put some terminology to that, okay? So this first part out here, this number has to be between 1 and 9. It can't be 11, it can't be 20, it has to be between 1 and 9. Now, it could be 1.0, it could be 1.0000, it could be 5.2, it could be 5.00, it could be 9.9999, but it has to be between 1 and 9. As soon as you click over to 10, it's not in the correct format, okay? So, and this number out in front is called the coefficient. So make sure you write that down, coefficient, okay? And that needs to be a number, not hashtag, a number between 1 and 9, okay? And then there's this part, which I'm gonna highlight here in purple, and that is just basically that it's to a base power of 10. A little side note there, that when you do when you do this on the calculator, you are looking for a capital E, which stands for exponent on your calculator. So you need to know how to do that. If all of you guys are using the scientific calculator, like a TI-83, TI-84, TI-84 plus, TI-85, any one of those graphing calculators with the bigger screen, to access this E, these are the buttons you're gonna hit. You're gonna hit second, and then you're gonna hit the comma, and that second and the comma puts you to like all the numbers that are written above the keys. And right above the comma, like kind of right here, you'll find that E and a E right there, 2 E's, which stands for the exponent. And that will give you the E that appears on the calculator. So make sure you know that. Don't use the caret. A lot of you like to use the caret. Please don't use the caret. That will screw up the powers of 10 when we're multiplying and adding and subtracting scientific notation numbers, okay? And then you have this number here, which I'll do in another color. This number here is what we call an exponent. Okay, and that exponent right there, that exponent can be positive or can be negative. Okay, if it's positive, it means it's a big number. If it's negative, it means it's a small decimal number. Okay, so just got to remember, exponents can be negative and positive. If they're positive, you're going to move a decimal to get a big number. If it's negative, you're going to move the decimal to get a small number. Okay, so let's start trying some of these. We'll get going here. So our first problem, problem 1, is 3,400 or 3,400, which is a big number. It's not a decimal number. Okay, so if it's a big number, that means I'm going to have times 10 to a positive exponent. Okay, Now, remember this number out in the front needs to be between 1 and 9. So if you could imagine here real quick, there is an imaginary decimal right there, okay? I need to move that decimal however many places, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 20, 90, however many places you need to move that, you'll move that decimal so there's one number in front of it. And that number has to be a non-zero number. So I'm gonna move this 1, 2, 3 spots, okay? That how many places you moved it is your exponent. Okay, so if you move it 3 spots, if you move it 5 spots, if you move it 29 spots, okay, or 26 spots, however many spots you have to move that decimal to get one number in front of it, a non-zero number, is your exponent. Okay, now you basically take your new number that you have, that you just moved it, and you write it in the front for the coefficient. And that is how you do scientific notation. Let's try one more, and then I'm going to have you guys practice the rest. Okay, so here we go. Here's my next number. Remember, I have to move that decimal so there's a non-zero digit in front of it. So non-zero, I'm going to move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots. Since I started with a decimal number, that's a small number. That means I'm going to have to a -5 exponent. So times 10 to a -5 exponent. And the new spot that I moved my decimal is right here. So it's going to be 2.3 times 10 to the -5. Okay, looking good there. Now I think down here we have going the opposite way. Now you're in scientific notation and you need to convert it to standard notation. So when I'm doing this, I look at the exponent. Okay, I'm going to highlight that exponent. That exponent is a positive number. There's no negative. The next one's a negative, so that's what it looks like. But we have a positive number, so I got to move my decimal to make this number in front get bigger. So to make 2.3 get bigger, I'm going to move this decimal 1, 2, 3, 4 spots. So my new number is 230, and then I fill in these little blanks right here, which I'm coloring black dots there, with zeros. So that's my new number, and then you can go in and put your comma so it's easier to read every 3 spots. Okay, next one, I have a negative exponent, so that negative exponent means I'm going to make my number out in front a smaller number. Okay, a lot of you guys have learned left, right, that sort of stuff. Me included, I get my left and right screwed up, so I think smaller and bigger, and that's a little easier to understand. So I have this number here. I need to move this decimal 3 spots. That tells me how many spots to move it. So I'm going to move my spot 1, 2, 3 spots. This is where my new decimal is. And then I fill in those blanks, those little open loops with zeros. So my new number is 0.00176. Okay. Now, why don't you go ahead and give it a try and see if you can do this. And hopefully my instruction has helped you do it. If you have questions, please reach out to me or any one of your teachers, and we are here to help. Okay? Thank you all. Bye.